Welcome to an Alfie James production, The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame, performed by members of the Black Dog Theatre Creation and supported by the Arts Council England and the West Euston Project.
Mole had been working very hard all morning, spring cleaning her little home. First with brooms, then with dusters, then on ladders and steps and chairs, with a brush and a pail of whitewash, till she had dust in her throat and eyes, and splashes of whitewash all over her black fur, and an aching back and weary arms. Spring was moving in the air above and in the earth below, and all around her, shining down through the cracks into her dark and lowly little house. Mole suddenly felt a longing, and she threw her broomstick to the floor.
Clank!
Oh, bother! Hang spring cleaning, I say, hang!
Something up above was calling her, and so she made for the steep little tunnel. She scraped and scratched and scrabbled and scrooged.
Scraped and scratched and scrabbled and scrooged. Scraped and scratched and scrabbled and scrooged. Scraped and scratched and scrabbled and scrooged until...
Oh my, what a beautiful sight!
Mole had appeared in a large green meadow.
Mole had appeared in a large green meadow.
The grass was warm and sunlight shone down on her back, and she could hear a chorus of birds singing in the nearby trees.
Tweet, 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 tweet.
Hello, Mr. Owl. Hello, Mrs. Owl.
Oh, you finally decided to come out, have you?
I've been so tired, Mr. Owl. I could just about have another few more hours of sleep, in fact.
That's all you underground animals think about, is sleeping. You should try being an owl. We're not allowed to sleep, even at night.
Never mind him. It's good to see you, Mole. Have you been down to the riverbank yet?
Not yet.
You should certainly go down to the riverbank on a splendid day like this.
You should certainly go down to the riverbank on a splendid day like this.
Yes, I've just said that.
Oh, do you? Well, make sure you tell her to go down to the riverbank.
It's no use. She's been like this ever since she misjudged, scooping down to catch that mouse, and landed smack face first onto the ground instead.
Ooh!
They still caught it though, didn't they?
Yes, you landed straight on top of it. We had pancakes that night for tea.
Maybe she needs glasses.
Oh, nonsense. Owls don't wear glasses. Owls are well known for having great eyesight. Don't you agree, Mr. Owl?
I'm standing this side of you, my dear.
Oh, well, have you been down to the riverbank yet, Mole? You should go down to the riverbank. It's rather splendid.
Not yet, but I shall go now.
Never in her life had Mole ever seen a river like this before. She was bewitched by its beauty. Just at that moment, she saw a tall, thin man standing by the riverbank. It was Rat.
Oh, sorry, I was just having a piddle.
Oh!
One must just do whatever one needs to do sometimes.
Yes.
Hello, Mole.
Hello, Rat.
Is everything all right, Mole?
Yes, this has been a wonderful day. So, is this a river?
It is indeed.
And do you live here?
By it, under it, and with it.
What a jolly life.
Are you tired, Mole?
Just a little.
Come and sit on my riverboat and take the weight off your feet.
Oh, but I have never been on a boat before.
Never been on a boat? Surely you must have. There's no other like so great.
Is it really quite as nice as all that?
My dear Mole, there's nothing quite as nice as messing about on the river.
Well, if you're sure.
There you go. There's nothing to it.
When the weather is fine, you know it's a sign for messing about on the river. If you take my advice, there's nothing so nice as messing about on the river. There are longboats and short boats and all kinds of craft and cruisers and keelboats and some with no draft. So take off your coat and hop in a boat. Go messing about on the river.
Ratty! Mole! I was just about to send for you.
I see that you've given up on rowing boats.
Oh, yes, rowing boats are so last year, but you must come and see what I have inside.
What is it?
Why, may I introduce you to my new home?
It's a caravan?
But you've got a home, Toad all.
This one's on wheels. Isn't it exciting?
Oh, Toad, when will you stop buying things that you don't need? Last year was a rowing boat.
The amazing or less Indian fancy, fastest boat around.
The year before, it was the kite.
Fire rocket zoomer, zip zack.
And then there was the giant catapult.
Whee!
But Mr. Toad, wherever do you get the money from to buy all of these things?
Oh, I've sold the meadow.
But that's my home.
Oh, don't start lecturing me.
But who have you sold it to?
Just a couple of weasels.
Weasels? But you know they've been trying to get their hands on Toad all for ages.
Ratty? Mr. Toad? Ratty?
What is it?
It's
What?
What?
Look out!
Beep, beep.
Blundering bottoms! What was that?
Scandals. Road dogs. Toad, are you all right, my dear fellow? Toad?
Boop, boop.
Oh, goodness me. It's all right. They've gone.
Boop, boop.
We must go straight to the police station and make a complaint.
A complaint about a beautiful, heavenly vision?
It's okay. The cart isn't damaged too much.
Cart? What's that? Horrid little cart. Common little cart. Silly little cart. No, that's the only way to travel. I must have one. Not tomorrow, but now. I want one now. Whoopee! Boop, boop!
There was no stopping him. Mr. Toad zoomed around the streets at top speed, causing mayhem wherever he went. He knocked down telephone poles, splashed puddles over grannies, terrorised the farm animals. Soon, everyone was up in arms about Toad and his motor car.
Here, he's just set my market cart flying. Me fruit and veg have gone all over the place.
Can't somebody stop him? He's driving like a lunatic.
Hey, I was playing marbles and he's driven right over them and crushed them all.
The smoke from that dreadful car is gassing out all my prize carrots. Oh, my little ones can't get off to sleep because of all the noise.
Something must be done, I say.
Something must be done. Oh, something must be done, I say. Something must be done.
Something must be done, I say.
Something must be done. Oh, something must be done, I say.
Something must be done.
Something must be done.
Something must be done.
It was decided that a meeting was to be held to decide what to do about Toad. All of the animals decided to get together at Otter's house.
Now, has everyone got a nice cup of tea?
Old Grandma Otter's house was a regular meeting place for all the animals whenever there was something to be discussed.
It was a small little place by the river at the bottom of the meadow, and it was often a bit of a tight squeeze.
Tea, anyone? I've made an extra brew.
No, I think we've had enough now, Otter. Thank you.
Oh, very well then.
So, what is to be done about this dreadful Toad?
I say, shoot him.
Shoot him? Bless my pink fluffy knickers. You can't shoot him.
Otter's right. We can't shoot him.
Knock him out, bury him alive.
No!
No.
I say we should sneak in one night and steal his motor car and hide it.
Stop him. He'll find it.
I could take his driving license away.
He doesn't have one.
Doesn't have one.
Shoot him.
What if one of us spoke to him and made him see the errors of his ways?
The only one that Toad will listen to is Badger, but he's still of a nation. And you know what he'll say, old chum?
Badger. Just a name sends a warm flicker up my back. Haven't seen him in years. Badger. Battenberg, anyone?
But it can't go on like this. There's going to be a serious accident soon.
Yeah.
Something must be done.
Something must be done.
Something must be done.
Ouch!
News of Mr. Toad's crash spread across the town within hours, and soon everyone was aware, even the weasels. They were all out looking for him in the big wild woods. Now, these woods were the home to the weasels. It should be said that the weasels were nasty and rather spiteful creatures that would do anything to get their hands onto Toad Hall. They were greedy and wanted to make Toad Hall their own. None of the other animals trusted the weasels.
Toad's crashed his car.
That greenhead is playing right into our hands. Soon Toad Hall will be ours. What was that?
What was what?
That! Well, what have we here?
It's a mole.
Yes, I know that.
But you said...
It's a figure of speech.
Oh.
Well, if it isn't Little Mole.
I'm not afraid of you, weasels. My friends will be along in one moment.
Friends?
Yes.
Listen, Mole, in this world, there's no such thing as friends.
Oh, I thought I was your friend.
Be quiet, you goon. Everyone is only out for themselves.
But I'm not.
I have to say it again. Now, take us weasels, for instance. First you see us, then you don't.
First you hear us, then you won't.
It's our secret of survival.
In a very nasty world.
Now you feel us, now you won't.
Are we real or are we not?
It's our secret of survival.
In a very nasty world.
First you see us, then you don't.
First you hear us, then you won't.
It's our secret of survival.
In a very nasty world.
It's our secret.
It's our secret.
It's our secret.
It's our secret.
In a very
Very
nasty
world.
Listen, Mole, you tell your friends to stop meddling in Toad's business.
Yeah, that meadow is our meadow now. And we're gonna build a really big...
Be quiet. If Toad wants to sell his property to us, then it's up to him.
Yeah, and when he does, we'll be the ones calling the shots around here.
Why don't you tell him the whole plan?
Oh, okay. First, we're gonna make Toad Hall a weasel-only area. And then we're gonna ban all picnics along the riverbank. And then we're gonna build a massive sewage pipe along the river.
Oh, shut up, you complete vegetable brain. It's meant to be a secret.
Oh, but you said...
Friends, huh? You don't have any friends, Mole. You're just a spineless wimp. You're not brave at all. Who would want to be your friend?
I would.
Shut up!
Mole, Mole, where are you? Oh, there you are, Mole. Are you all right?
I am now that you are here.
Now tuck your scarf in. You don't want to catch yourself a death. We'd better go and find Toad. It's not safe out here in the wild woods, you know.
Meanwhile, Toad was in another part of the woods, stumbling about nervously in the dark, trying to find his way home.
Hello? Hello? Is anybody there?
Mr. Toad, how nice it is to see you out here in the wild woods.
My goodness, how did you get there?
Oh, I understand that you need finance for a new motor car.
Oh, yes. It's funny that you should say that. I do.
Well, we have a little business proposition for you.
And so, while the weasels began to put their nasty plan into action, Mole and Ratty continued to search for their friend. But the more they searched, the more lost they became.
Are you sure that you know where you're going?
Of course, it's this way. No, that way. No. Oh!
Oh, it's no use. We're lost.
Just then, one of the trees began to speak.
No, you're not. Did that tree just talk? I do believe that I did.
But you're a tree. You're not meant to talk.
And you're asking the audience to believe in a talking mole?
Well, can you tell us where we are?
Certainly. You're on stage.
No, in the play.
Oh, forgive me. I don't get many visitors here in the wildwood. Only Badger, and he spends such a long time sleeping.
Did you say Badger?
Yes,
I do believe I did. He lives here, you know.
See? I told you we weren't lost.
Really? Where exactly does he live?
Inside and under my trunk.
Well, that's sorted. He'll know what to do about Toad.
But he won't take kindly to being woken up at this time.
Oh, nonsense. We're old friends. Leave this to me.
Knock, knock, knock. I'll give you knock, knock, knock. Who's there?
He doesn't sound like he's in a very good mood.
I told you not to wake him.
What's the meaning of this?
Oh, sorry, Rat Badger. It's me, Ratty.
Oh, no! It's the middle of the winter and the middle of the night by the look of it.
Yes, sorry, Badger. It's Toad and the Weasels.
Then you'd best come in. Now it's the Weasels, you say?
Yes, and they said that they're going to make Toad Hole a weasel-only area and back picnics from the river and build a giant sewage pipe.
Oh, that stinks. Oh, sorry. Ban picnics from the riverbank.
But how can they do that?
Toad has sold the meadow.
He's what?
That's why we knocked so loudly.
Oh, that's quite all right, Mole. You can come and live with me.
She's going to come and live with me, Badger.
It's only a small, dingy place. Not like here, Badger. It doesn't have the sparkling water or the giant hole like Toad's house. But it's my home. My very own little home.
And now he's crashed another motor car.
How many is that?
Cars or crashes? Oh, blundering firecrackers. You won't believe who it is.
I was attacked by the Weasels. They wanted me to put Toad Hall up for finance on a new motor car.
Motor car? It's time you stopped this motoring farce. You've wasted all of your parents' money. I promised your father on his deathbed that I would make sure that you looked after your inheritance.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry? You're a giant nincompoop.
Oh, thank you, Badger. That's very nice of you to say.
Nincompoop isn't a compliment, Toad.
Oh.
Now take off those goggles.
But,
and those racing gloves. Now you will accompany me into the other room where we will have a serious talk about your attitude.
I'd rather not.
I wasn't asking.
As the hour hand slowly moved around the old grandfather clock, the arguing sounds from the next room continued to flow. Ratty and Mole still waited patiently, wondering if either would come out alive. Just as they were both about to fall asleep, the noise suddenly stopped, and Badger and Toad re-entered the room.
My friends, I'm told that Toad has something important that he wishes to tell you both. Well, Toad? I'm sorry for all the trouble which I have caused. Well?
But I'm not sorry, because driving around in those motor cars was simply glorious.
But you said in there?
I would have said anything in there, but the truth is I'm not sorry, and it would be perfectly dreadful to lie.
So you're not going to promise never to touch another car again?
Never. In fact, I'm going to buy the very next motor car that I see. Boop, boop.
What do we do now?
Plan B.
Plan B?
Just at that moment, Badger picked up a giant saucepan and hit Toad over the head with it. Ratty, Mole and Badger led a blindfolded Toad underground through a tunnel.
How much further is it, Badger?
This tunnel will take us straight to Toad Hall. We're under the meadow now.
How on earth did you find the time to do all this, Badger?
Oh, I didn't. Long, long ago, there was a city of humans right here. They thought that it would endure forever. But humans can't let things rest. Greed is their undoing, you see. But badgers are different. There are badgers here now, and there'll be badgers here forever. Now come along, my friends. It's this way.
Badger continued to lead the way, but little did they know that Mole had recognized something. She picked up a small bowl and, before thinking, reached up and dug her way to the surface. It was her home. The place had been battered and broken. She looked down and picked up an old clock and held it close to her.
It's my home. They've destroyed my home.
Oh, don't worry, Mole. We'll teach those weasels.
Mole, Ratty and Badger took Toad all the way back to Toad Hall, where they locked him in his room until he could be cured of his obsession with motor cars.
No, Badger wants to cure Toad of his motor car problem, does he?
And we don't want that, do we?
Yes, I know.
We want him to spend every last pennies that he's got.
Yes, I know.
And then he'll be forced to give Toad Hall to us.
What are you telling me?
I don't know.
Cheese brain. No, I know what we're going to do. We're going to redirect all the motor cars from far and wide to here right at Toad Hall. Then it will be impossible for Mr. Toad to forget about wanting one of his own.
And so it happened. Motor cars from nearby towns and villages began to be diverted to Toad Hall. Soon there were dozens of motor cars driving past Toad Hall every hour. There were big ones, small ones, fast ones, slow ones, motor cars without a roof, motor cars with roaring engines. Toad Hall suddenly became the new A12 until Toad could take no more.
I must have one!
That afternoon, Toad came up with a cunning plan to escape.
Oh, I do wish you'd improve. It's been months now.
Well, I was just thinking that what might help is a nice little... Oh, no, it won't work.
What won't work?
Well, it's a nice spot of fresh air, like a little walk along the riverbank, because there's nothing quite as nice as messing about on the river, you know.
Oh, the river? Oh, it's so beautiful too.
But you're quite right, of course. Besides, You can't have a picnic on the river in the middle of winter.
But you can. Everyone thinks that you can't, but you can have a picnic at any time. In fact, winter picnics are my speciality. I know just the perfect spot.
Oh, it would really take my mind off things.
Quite rightly so.
And there's a picnic hamper in the cellar already.
Oh, but I don't know.
Oh, it might be the very cure.
Do you really think so, Toady? I mean, will you promise me that you'll behave?
Oh, you know me, Ratty. Of course I will.
As soon as Ratty left the room, Toad jumped into action. He tied together all the bed sheets that he could find and used them to climb out of the window. He quickly ran out of the gates of Toad Hall and down the main road towards the next village, where he found, sitting outside the local inn, was a marvellous, beautiful motor car. Oh, Toad couldn't resist it and jumped on board and zoomed away.
Poop, poop, look out! It's Toad on the road, everybody! Look out!
Oh, Toad had been driving far too fast and lost control of the motor car and crashed it. Toad was quickly arrested and taken to the local court, where he was put on trial.
The full penalty of the law is hardly sufficient for the extent of this disturbing and highly callous and particularly evil crime perpetrated by this snivelling wretch that we now see whimpering in the dock.
Yeah.
I rest my case, Your Honour.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand that you are the counsel for the defence.
I am, Your Honour, but the crime is so awful that this is the best that I could come up with.
Oh, is there any defence at all?
Your Honour, if you please, I would like to say something.
Of course.
The accused has been suffering from what can only be described as madness, brought about by his fixation with motor cars.
Rubbish! I love them. I love the thrill of them, and I will never give them up.
Order! Order!
Why, I've just about had enough. I will never help you again, Mr. Toad.
Order! Order! Now, I've just about had enough of all of this. I hereby sentence you to prison, where you remain there for a very, very long time.
But...
And so Toad was taken to the prison alone to spend the rest of his days. Ratty and Mole felt terrible.
It's all my fault, Mole. If only I hadn't left Toad alone.
There must be something that we can do.
The minute that we leave Toad Hall empty, the weasels will be here quicker than you can say picnic.
Ratty, I don't know, but could we spring Toad from jail?
How? He's in the strongest prison in the whole land.
I'm not very brave, but I could dig a tunnel.
Oh, my dear fella. No, we must stay here and guard Toad Hall.
What was that?
Oh, just my whiskers.
No, that.
Just then, a loud explosion is heard, followed by gunshots. Smoke filled the room and a flicker of lights. Several weasels crowd the room, surrounding Mole and Ratty.
Surprise, surprise. It just hits you between the eyes. You're trespassing. This is a weasel-only area now.
And that means that nobody is allowed here except weasels.
Well, what else could it mean?
Oh, poor Mole and Ratty were quickly thrown out of Toad Hall as the ghastly weasels took over. The weasels quickly ransacked everything, breaking antiques and precious belongings kept safe by the Toad family for generations. Meanwhile, in the prison, Toad was beginning to feel rather sorry for himself.
Oh, what have I done? Now I'm all alone. I'm done in. Oh, I should have listened to Badger and my friends.
Chin up, Toad. I've brought you some bubbling squeak.
No, I don't want it.
I'll just take it away then.
No, wait. I shouldn't waste it.
It's such a shame that you're stuck in here and you're going to miss all the excitement.
Excitement?
When the new owners blow up Toad Hall and build a sewage plant.
New owners? Blow up Toad Hall? What a stinker! But I own Toad Hall. They can't do that.
It's all here in the newspaper. And the new owners, by the Chief Weasel, will be blowing up Toad Hall tomorrow.
Weasels? Oh, what have I done? I've got to stop them. But how can I when I'm stuck in here?
Maybe I can help.
What, you? Really?
Well, I've always had a soft spot for wealthy toads.
After being kicked out of Toad Hall, Ratty and Mole had been busy digging a tunnel right underneath the prison and were just about to break through.
I can't possibly wear that.
Miss Squirrel had come up with the idea of swapping clothes with Toad so that Toad could escape. It has to be said that Toad was looking even more ridiculous than usual.
But don't you want to escape?
Not looking like this. Oh, very well.
Mole and Ratty finally came to a small trapdoor inside Toad's prison cell. Mole slowly peered through.
Oh my!
What is it?
Toad is dressed up as Miss Squirrel.
Yuck!
Miss Squirrel has taken all her clothes off and given them to Toad.
This is supposed to be a family show.
Perhaps it's some kind of torture?
There, my goodness, you do look rather funny.
Don't you dare laugh at me.
And rather ugly, too. In fact, you look like the back end of a bus.
Perfect. The guards won't tell the difference.
If I looked like that, then I'd want to stay in prison.
It's a good job that you are.
Now tie me up, and then you can pretend to be me and escape. Oh, and don't forget to gag.
Nothing would give me greater pleasure.
Toad!
Mole, Ratty, what on earth are you doing here?
We've come to rescue you.
No need. I have a terrific plan.
But we've made a tunnel.
Oh, no. A tunnel is no way for a toad like me to escape. I'm going to do things with a bit more dash and zing.
Toad!
And so, Toad made a dash through the prison corridors and past the prison guards, who, I have to say, were rather old and blind and did not recognise the green paint on Toad's face. And before you could say Jiffy Jaffy, he had escaped through the prison doors. Just as Mole, Ratty and Toad had thought that they were safe, a searchlight appeared on them, followed by a police whistle. Mole, Ratty and Toad began to run for their lives. They jumped over the gate and into the farmer's cow field and headed straight towards the railway station.
I am the station master, and that'll be 5 and 9 pence, Granny.
Oh, my!
Without any money, Toad, Mole and Ratty fled onto the station platform just as a train was leaving.
Now what?
Jump on board that train.
But it's moving.
Toad quickly jumped onto the train, followed by Mole and Ratty. The police tried to chase after them, but it was too late.
There, I did it. I showed them.
And I suppose we did nothing.
Well, I could have easily done it myself.
But what about us?
Oh, you helped just a little bit, but nobody could stop the brilliance of Mr. Toad.
Just then, Toad jumped off the moving train into a hedge by the side of the road.
Toad!
Oh, with Toad gone again, Mole and Ratty wandered through the wild wood, trying to make sense of it all.
What are we going to do, Mole?
I'm digging.
But why?
Because it's no use. I'm not as brave as you are, or as fierce as a badger. I'm just a spineless wimp.
Of course you're not. You're brave.
No, it's no use. I'll never be brave. I'll always be useless and scared.
But Mole...
Oh, but it was no use. Mole had already gone and disappeared. Meanwhile, on the other side of the wood, Toad was picking thorns out of his backside.
Oh, ow! Oh, that one hurt.
Oh, what have we here?
Oh, it's you. I have a bone to pick with you. Now, you give Toad Hall back to me at once.
Toad Hall? Of course. We were just looking after it until you got out of jail.
Were you really?
Of course. You can trust us. And to show you our appreciation, we've got a special motor car that we'd like you to test.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Am I going to like this one?
Oh, it's to die for.
Back on the other side of the wood, Ratty had found something rather worrying. He had stumbled across a large track running through poor old Badger's home, where a bulldozer had smashed through the forest, destroying everything in its path. Poor old Badger was clutching an old picture frame.
Badger, are you all right?
First it was the meadow, then it was the wild wood, and next it'll be Toad Hall. Something must be done.
Back in the townspeople had become frightened. With the weasels now in charge, they were starving the people and forcing them all into hiding. A barbed fence surrounded Toad Hall, heavily guarded by the weasels. Badger and Ratty arrived and quickly tried to break in, but they were captured by the chief weasel. Poor Mole was sitting underground, feeling very sad.
I try to be like you, Ratty, but I'm not. I belong here, underground.
But you are like him, Mole.
Trevor, what are you doing here?
Why, I'm a tree. I'm everywhere. Well, at least I was until those weasels started bulldozing through the wild wood.
But I'm not brave.
Of course you are. You just have to believe in yourself and stand tall and think about doing what's right.
But I'm only small.
And that makes you fast and a quick thinker. You have brains and hope.
But I'm not very loud.
Then speak louder, so that everyone will listen. Your friends need you now more than they ever have. Stand up for what is right, Mole. You can do it. You must do it.
They need my help. My goodness. Am I really the only one left?
They all need you, Mole. The weasels have captured Ratty and Badger and Toad.
Mole quickly dug a tunnel underground until she was inside Toad Hall. That's when Mole saw Badger, Toad and Ratty being taken inside a large room. The door was quickly slammed behind them. Mole quickly saw a long ladder and she started climbing it. She was terrified of heights, but still she carried on. She reached the top and climbed across a long beam over the ceiling and into the large room. She looked down and saw Ratty, Toad and Badger sitting on a large mechanical machine. The crunching machine was loud and spinning. Ratty and Badger were tied down onto the machine and were moving closer and closer towards the cruncher. Mole's heart sank.
Ooh, this is so exciting.
Don't you just love it when the plan comes together? I was going to blow up Total tomorrow, but I think I've changed my mind. I'm going to do it tonight instead, and there's nothing that any of you fools can do to stop me. You stupid fools are going to be turned into sausage meat.
Sausage meat!
Badger, Ratty and Toad moved closer and closer towards the jaws of the machine, crunching and biting.
Oh, Badger, what an awful way to go.
Mole jumped down and quickly ran down the tunnel underneath the machine towards the stop button. But just as she was about to press it, the machine caught hold of her scarf and started to pull her into the machine.
Crunch them! Crunch them!
Mole tried to reach out for the stop button, but couldn't reach it.
Badger was first to be crunched as he was creeping towards the jaws.
Mole stretched out her hand even more, but the machine tightened the scarf around her neck. Just then, Badger lifted his legs up and pushed his feet up against the side of the machine to try to stop himself from disappearing into its jaws.
Hold on, everyone!
I'm so sorry, Badger. I'm sorry, everyone.
Look at them struggle! Look at them struggle!
Just then, Mole heard the ancient tree's voice calling out, "Believe in yourself, Mole. Believe."
With one last push with her might, Mole reached the stop button and pressed it. The machine came to a stop.
What? Who did that?
I did. Now, untie my friends.
You haven't got the guts to hurt me. You're too afraid. Instead, why don't you join us? And we can be friends.
Friends? But I thought you said there's no such thing as friends.
Oh, come on. That was just a song.
You destroyed my home.
And that was just a joke.
But you said it was the plan.
Shut up, you stupid fool!
Just then, the Chief Weasel began to shake Jimmy Weasel before they both lost their footing and fell into the jaws of the crunching machine.
Wait a minute. That is a bit harsh. After all, this is supposed to be a family show.
But you forgot. I'd already switched the machine off.
Mo, you saved us all. You saved the day.
He's a hero, and now I can go back to driving my motor cars.
Oh no, Toad. All this silliness has to stop. Haven't you realized how much trouble you've caused?
Please, Toad. For us. For your friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am a proud and stupid Toad. I have done some unspeakable things, and so henceforward I will be turning over a new leaf. No more boasting, no more troublemaking, and no more motor cars. I have learnt that there is more to life, and I want to share it all with you, my friends, on this wonderful and beautiful river.
And so Mr. Toad had at last learnt his lesson, and indeed he did give up motor cars. He built a brand new home for Mole and Badger, and to thank everyone for putting up with him, he threw the most spectacular party, picnic by the river.
When the weather is fine, then you know it's a sign for messing about on the river. If you take my advice, there's nothing so nice as messing about on the river. There are longboats and short boats and all kinds of craft, and cruisers and keelboats and some with no draft. So take off your coat and hop in a boat. Go messing about on the river.
Toad, have you really given up motor cars?
Of course I have.
Really?
Certainly, for there's nothing quite as great as aeroplanes.
Aeroplanes? Mr. Toad.
The end.
You've been listening to an Alfie James production, The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame, performed by members of the Black Dog Theatre Creation, supported by the Arts Council England and the West Euston Project.